Hi everybody, welcome to Motivational Masters yet again. With me today I've got Penny, who's a coach here at North Brother CrossFit, and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're just going to talk a little bit about your journey
Yes.
in fitness, CrossFit, and what you're up to. And I guess upcoming is you've got a competition.
Absolutely, that is a little over a week away now. So the Masters Games down in Orange this year. So we've been busy trying to prepare for that, and looking forward to it.
Do you enjoy the competitive aspect of CrossFit?
I do. I find it's good motivation personally to improve and to maintain a level of fitness. So yeah, in that aspect, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
right, great. And you've done this competition previously?
I did it last year, yes.
So you've made it 2 years to the
years
finals.
in a row.
Excellent.
Yes. Last year individual, this year as part of a team. So,
How's it feel?
to be honest, I think I was preferring the team aspect, because I think that's one of the great things about CrossFit is it's not always just about you as an individual. It's about the group and the social aspect of it. So I think I'm looking forward to the team competition.
Oh, cool. So you just mentioned about that community social aspect of CrossFit.
Yes.
Tell me more about what you like about that.
I've been doing CrossFit and I was trying to do the sums, but I think I'm in my 12th year.
Awesome.
So it's been a long time, and I think for a majority of that, it was probably more for a social well-being sort of aspect rather than fitness. Obviously, that's always been a big part of it.
Yeah.
And prior to doing CrossFit, I always did do some form of exercise or sport or something. So activity was always a part of my life, but I think the CrossFit thing, sometimes as you go through life and it goes up and down, it's more a family or a release that's sometimes a social one rather than a fitness one.
Right, okay. So how did you stumble across it 12 years ago?
There was some people in the gym that I was going to at the time that had started to dabble in it. And I did see them from a distance and think, wow, what are they doing? So I found out more about that. There was at the time a whole gym move towards CrossFit. So it was a martial arts gym at the time that I was going to, but they didn't lose the martial arts. They incorporated CrossFit as a different part of the gym. So definitely, I migrated into that way.
Right. Do you remember how you felt when you first started?
I felt I was obviously 12 years younger, so I've got to say I think I felt a fair bit better than I do some days now. But look, it was exciting. It was exciting. It was pretty new. It wasn't as commonplace as it is these days, especially in Australia.
Yeah.
So I think it was interesting. There was a whole group of us that started it at the same time, which meant that we all learnt it together, and we all progressed together. We all hit plateaus together. Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do you know, looking back, what was it about it that really sort of motivated you then, do you think?
I think that there's always something you can get better at. So, provided you've got that inclination to actually get better at things, then there's always something to work on.
Yeah.
And there's always some part of it that you can excel at too. Like even your brand new basic athlete will find something that is their jam, and something that just fits with their body type and their fitness level, and it sort of works. So you can find something that's comfortable and something that's a bit more of a challenge, and then that doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It goes the entire way through the journey.
Yeah. So you're saying that, you mentioned earlier too about that kind of holistic, how you kind of approached it initially for a health and well-being thing, and now it's sort of more of a, you're focusing on some competitive aspects of it. What would sort of your, I guess, top 3 things you feel that CrossFit's done for you?
It's definitely maintained strength and fitness, absolutely. I think more so than if I had have continued doing what I was doing previously, which was more cardio based. So definitely a lot more strength and a lot more probably I'd like to say more of an athletic sort of muscular all-round sort of fitness. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Definitely, like I mentioned before, it's just that ongoing community, and I think, you know, there's been a couple of CrossFit boxes that I've been associated with, and every one of them is the same in that you get your group, and it's usually a whole group thing. It's not, you don't get the segregation as much. It's more everyone wants everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
And from that, you form friendships.
Awesome.
And yeah, just apart from that, I guess the fact that I've now doing a little bit of coaching and programming and have done the level 2 like that, I guess has just given me that additional skill development and opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Well, talking about the coaching, how did that journey sort of pan out?
So, about probably around the same time that I started CrossFit, or just before that, I did my Cert 3 and 4 in fitness, and I used to do I was teaching boxing for fitness classes at the time at the gym that I was going to, which was a lot of fun, and it was awesome. And I used to do some boot camp sort of things. So I loved it, and I did that at the time, not for a job so much, but because I wanted to know more about it. And the same thing has sort of happened this way with CrossFit. It took me a long time to get to that point where I actually did the level 1 qualification. But again, it was because I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to understand the theory of it. Having done it for so long, you take in a lot and you understand a lot, but when you actually go through the theory of it, it's like, okay, it all brings it together.
So what do you enjoy most about coaching?
I think that I enjoy the opportunity to help people. Definitely that's what I used to love when I did the personal training and the other coaching part of it. Nowadays, the coaching that I'm doing at the moment's not a lot. It's not my main job. So, you know, I feel like it's almost like a breath of fresh air when I turn up. Doesn't matter what day I've had. It's almost, it goes along the same lines as doing the training yourself. It's, you know, your concentration's there for that hour or however long that is. And you can celebrate the wins with people. I like that.
Awesome. What sort of advice would you give to masters type people who would be sort of thinking about starting CrossFit?
I would say just start. Conversations I've had, and a lot of them, people sometimes have reservations about CrossFit because they think they're not fit enough to start, because it can look intimidating, but to be honest, that's the opposite. You really just have to get in and start, and like I said, the community will make up for the rest of it. Okay. So what about, some people have some fears around starting something new, and obviously CrossFit could potentially be one of those people, either fears of the weights or some other aspects of it. How would you sort of approach that kind of new? I think if somebody was concerned about coming into a big group environment, I would suggest they either started in a small group environment or did a couple of one-on-one sessions. And a lot of CrossFit boxes will have beginner classes or on-ramp classes, and if they don't have them programmed, they absolutely will accommodate anyone who wants to come and just try it out separately or in small groups.
Cool. So you were talking about your previous coaching boxing boot camps and personal training. How does that differ, both doing it and coaching it, to sort of CrossFit? Where does the difference lie?
It's funny you should say that, because I think back in the day, like I said, I had started delving into CrossFit a little bit, and I used to put some of those CrossFit ideals into, and the programming was a little bit based on some of the CrossFit methodology even way back then. The difference, I think, is that now with CrossFit it's more of a holistic approach. You're not just thinking about this one class, you're thinking about what else has happened through the week, what other classes are people doing? Have they, are you ticking all the boxes? Are you doubling up on things, and are you making sure that they're actually getting that progression? Which is not a focus generally in fitness, unless somebody is, if you're one-on-one with somebody and you're taking them through programming week on week. When you're doing groups like I was, people would turn up for an hour class and you'd give them an hour's class, but that was, there was no further thought to it.
Yeah, it just sort of ends there and then starts afresh the next time. Yeah. And you mentioned that earlier too about there's so much a range of activities within CrossFit itself. Like there's the Metcon style of things, there's the strengthening, there's the gymnastic aspect, and you can be good or weaker at certain aspects.
You absolutely can be, but you can also get better at all of those aspects too.
Yeah.
You do have to commit to it, but that's like anything in life. The beauty of it is that you're exposed to it in the general programming, so you can't really avoid it if you try to, but that's a good thing, because you with support and encouragement, you get the feel for things that you aren't necessarily naturally good at.
Yeah. Okay. So let's back to your journey. What's your biggest win for you in CrossFit? What's been the most sort of exciting moment?
I think the longevity, the fact that I've just worked out it's been 12 years, I think that's a win.
Awesome.
But look, apart from that, I don't know. I wouldn't say I was a naturally gifted athlete now or ever. I've enjoyed training. I enjoy the well-being benefits of it. I enjoy the physical benefits of it. And so with that, I think that's probably my single greatest win, is that the fact that I'm still doing it, and I feel like it's been a benefit all around for me. I do the odd competition, but I'm not doing the competitions to win. There are a lot of people that, that's their drive, and that's awesome. But you don't have to be naturally athletic to enjoy CrossFit and do a lot out of it.
And you mentioned earlier you use sort of those competitions as kind of a motivation for your training.
You do.
Point.
Because you know in your head what sort of level you have to be at, and what movements or standards or weights and that you may have to do. So you work towards that.
What are your goals at the moment?
My goals?
Yeah.
Just to get through the weekend coming up. And look, I'm actually looking. Yeah,
Have you approached the PFA?
I'm actually looking forward to just focusing on a few goals that I had, at the start of the year, without the pressure of a competition, or without needing to be this and that for certain things, and just train for me for a little while. That's a goal.
Awesome.
But coming into the new year, I think we all reassess our goals, and then the opportunity for competition starts up again, so we'll see what happens.
Refresh. Okay.
Yep.
So, what's your favourite movement in CrossFit?
My favourite movements. I like cardio, which is a really weird thing for me to say, because that'll be the thing I complain about the most. And I've enjoyed the weightlifting side of it, and I think early days I really enjoyed the very basic lifts, like your back squat and your deadlift, and even your push press, and that it's interesting to learn some of the more complicated lifting movements, and I've enjoyed that over the time. But some of the things that you get the opportunity to try are not things that you get anywhere else. Like, you're not necessarily walking into a gym and doing handstand walks, or some of your gymnastics movements, or your pull-ups, or your toes to bar. So I think the fact that you get to do that, I enjoy those as well. I enjoy the variety. Okay. Any least favourite things to do? I have lots of least favourite.
Let's name one.
So funnily enough, I despise thrusters, and I despise wall balls. So you can basically say anything that's from squat to overhead is not my favourite.
There's probably quite a few people with you on that one.
So we've got a club.
Yeah, exactly. And there might be some in the competition.
Oh, I think they are, yeah. Which is pretty normal. Yeah.
We didn't talk about right at the start, which I usually do with people. What age group are you competing in?
I'm actually in the teams, which is 45 to 54.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm in the category, the 50 to 54 year old. As an individual.
Yeah. Awesome. Have you had any injury setbacks or anything along the way in your 12 years?
Definitely. I have, I've had niggly injuries, and even this year I've had a shoulder injury that was a little bit niggly. The only major injury I had wasn't a CrossFit injury. It was an injury that I did with jiu-jitsu prior to CrossFit, and it was a knee injury, and it was something that it needed surgery that I didn't get straight away. So I had an ACL reconstruction in 2020, right in time for COVID. It was perfect timing. But yeah, look, that's the only major. But yeah, look, definitely some niggly injuries, and I think that's part of the journey too, because it is something that challenges your body. So you need to be able to manage that. Part of the recovery is part of it. Awesome. Okay, well, I think there's been heaps of cool information and learning about you. We might just go for a few questions, just some fun stuff at the end. Favourite music to work out to? To work out to. I like the heavy stuff to work out to.
Excellent.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Least favourite music to work out to?
Anything too poppy, I don't really like. Gotta have a bit of grunt to it.
5-minute workout or a 25-minute workout? What's your preference?
A 25-minute any day.
Okay. Yep. All right. And I was going to ask about the thrusters or burpees, but
burpees any day.
Okay. Let's finish on that.
That's that one.
All right. Okay. Thanks very much, Penny.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.